Page 136 through 155. This is a string of pages in here. I just kind of put them all in this video. It's section 3, or part of section 3, on technique. I don't really teach much technique in these videos. It's hard to do when you're not right there where I can see what you're doing, because I can describe to you what to do with technique, and you can listen to me and think you understand it, and then when you go and do it, you'd be doing something completely different. That's why it's so important that you have a live teacher, better than a dead teacher, someone there who can help you with your technique. However, we'll go through this. A lot of the things in these pages that I didn't use when I was teaching, and we didn't use in college, we use scales and arpeggios for that stuff, everything, because you got to know the scales and arpeggios anyway, so we just use those when practicing articulation and dynamics and all that stuff. Yeah, it worked great. However, let's talk, I'm just going to point out a few things. I don't see any point in playing any of these with you. You can go through and play them yourself. They're not hard. They're all, I think, in C major. If you're really going to do it well on these, you almost need to take them and transpose them into all the other keys and play them in all the keys, not just C major. However, that's a whole nother story. Let's not go there. Starting on page 136. They're talking about varying the touch, the articulation, and they give you these different things, combinations of staccatos and legatos and accents, and you just have fun with it. You can read about what they're talking about there. On 137, they talk about varying the rhythm, and you can vary the rhythm with the scales and do the same thing, but I haven't found varying the rhythm helps me much as far as learning stuff. But some people do, so okay. And you vary the tempo and vary this and vary that and vary everything and just have a ball varying whatever. Then on page 138 is where they start what they call preparatory exercises. Now, if you feel you need something to warm the fingers up and all, and the scales aren't doing it, which I would question that, because scales on arpeggios, or scales at least, do that. And that's all the warm-up I ever used in college. And I could spend my first hour of practice just doing scales and arpeggios. However, these are fun to play. So if you want to try them, you do them. They give you, don't just go through and do them all. Pick one and stick with it for a week or so. And speed-wise, you got to use a metronome. You go slow. Claps your wrist on the beat. That's very important, this wrist, flexible wrist things. Don't underestimate it. Don't play with stiff wrists. Just fingers alone. And you gradually speed it up. So on these, don't be in a hurry to get through these pages. These are something that you do for months or years or whenever. And these continue on through page 141. They just give you all kinds of possibilities. Then on page 142, they give you some other exercises, some variations. Again, have fun with those if you want. If you enjoy that stuff, fine. On 144, they give you more introductory exercises. Isn't this just a joy? They kind of go up and down chromatically. Take a look, for instance, on page 144 on the first one. Just look at the right hand on all these eighth notes going on. You're starting in a C position. And then the second measure, all you're doing is just going up a half step. Now we go to here, in this position. Next measure, we go up another half a step. Go up again. Isn't that fun? Frankly, I don't see what it accomplishes, but it can be fun to play, so try that out. Number 2, you get the same thing in the left hand. Whatever you're doing in the right, make sure you practice it in the left too. Both hands have to be worked, so don't favor one hand over the other. So you can have fun with these. On page 146, they talk about the Virtuoso Pianist. It is a book by Hannon. I have the book. It's a lot of fun to go through and play those things. It's Both hands are playing the same notes, going up and down. They only show one staff here, but you just do the same thing. It's like here, just do the same thing in the left hand, just an octave lower. And you go up and then you go down, and these can be fun to play and a warm up if you want to warm up something besides scales. And they get very intricate. They can get challenging. But I would recommend you go get the Virtual Pianist book, the Hanon book, and get them out of that, because there's more to it than, I mean, on number one, there's more to it than this. This only goes up a little ways. He goes up quite a ways, so there's a lot more to it. Now, when you do the book, please be careful. Those metronome markings are pretty much for professionals. You take it at your speed, so forget those metronome markings in the book. You take whatever speed that you can do comfortably, and fast isn't going to help you. Nice and slow. And you can gradually speed it up over time. Your speed will increase as you get better at piano. So stay within your limits on these. I mean, you can push a little bit, but when you start playing uneven and missing notes, that's too fast. No, come back down. On page 148, they cover the scales up 2 octaves. I prefer to use the scale videos, but you can use this if you'd rather. But if this will help you, that's fine. As far as the chords, what they've done is taken the one chord and its inversions. I don't know why, but okay, they did it. On page 150, 151, same thing with the minor scales. And what I do on these is I'll take a key signature at a time. So it's like C major, so I'll do the C major scale and the A minor scale, because both of those have the same key signature, and I'll do them all that way. On 152, they do the melodic minors. That's nice to know if you want to do them. I don't bother with melodic minors. I haven't found a need for them other than understanding what they are, but they're there if you want them. And on page 154, 155, the arpeggios. Now, as today, when I'm recording this, I still have not put up my arpeggio videos. I put up just a few. Well, I need to do the rest of them because the arpeggios are really important. They give them here, and it's okay. I mean, it's a good idea. If you're going to do the scale, do the arpeggio in that key also. That's the major and minor arpeggio both. But basically, it's the one chord of the key is what I'm talking about. So it's like here at the beginning on C major, in the right hand, it's 1, 2, 3, 1. Follow the fingering there. Left hand, it's 1, 4 on the E. And 4 on the E. You get them one at a hand, then get them one hand at a time, then you put the hands together. The arpeggio videos explain the pattern that I recommend you use. They go through pretty much all the keys on these. That's nice. Fingering wise, I was taught to use the finger I'm going to use in the arpeggio at the beginning of the arpeggio, unless it's the little finger. We use a little finger as a starting finger. Like for instance, on the C major arpeggio at the top, in the left hand, we start with little finger. Well, normally the thumb would play that note, but we go ahead and start with little finger, because it's there. But other than that, we use the same finger we would play in the arpeggio. For instance, take a look here on the B flat major arpeggio. In the right hand, the beginning, you see 2 finger numbers above the B flat, 2 and a 4. Well, I was taught, because I'm going to use the 4th finger on that note on B flat, that I will start it with 4th finger. My instructor insisted I do that on all of these. So if they're giving you an option like that, use the finger you're going to use in the arpeggio. On the E flat major, you see that one is a 2 and 4 again? Well, on E flat major arpeggio, you're going to use 4th finger on the E flat. Therefore, start it with 4th finger. Like so. All of them are that way. Now, I disagree with your fingering on some of these. For instance, on the B major arpeggio in the left hand, the arpeggio is here. They're saying third finger. I disagree. I say it's fourth finger. I recommend fourth finger on the D sharp in the left. For the E major arpeggio here, I recommend fourth finger on the G sharp. Not third. Fourth finger. On the D major arpeggio here, fourth finger on the F sharp. So I disagree. If it is a third or less, I use fourth finger. If fifth finger's the starting point, I use fourth finger, not third. On these. I'll have it all in my arpeggio videos. I'll cover the fingering very carefully in all of those. Now, there's a Cherny book also on exercises, finger exercises. If you're going to do the hand, and go get the Cherny book too, and have fun with that. I don't do it to develop fingers or on. They're just fun to play. And if you're just looking for something just to make some noise and work the fingers, and you're not really working on anything, that's where the Hanon and the Cherny stuff really come in handy. Just have fun with them.